Hey guys, it's Graham. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you some tips for your first au pair stay. I'm going to break this video down into two parts. Part one being things that you should bring with you for your first stay, and part two being some tips that I have. But before I jump into this, if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment down below letting me know your tips. This is a super important topic, so I really want to know your opinion on it. That being said, let's jump right into this video. So one of the things I've been asked a lot lately, and specifically a lot during a live session I did over on my Instagram, was what are tips for the first au pair stay? What should you bring? What should you do? What should you plan for? So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. These are tips that I've compiled over my nearly 12 months as an au pair. No. 14 months. 14 months as an au pair. These are really priceless tips. They are good stuff. So be sure to hang in to the end of the video to hear all this stuff, because I promise no one else is going to tell you what I'm about to tell you. Alright, so let's not waste any more breath. Let's jump into the first part of the video, which is going to be here in my room. Then we're going to go over to my bathroom to show you something, and then we'll sit down here at the desk to tell you the tips part of the video. So the first thing that you should bring, or perhaps not bring so much of, is clothes. So let's go over to my dresser. Alright, so here I am in front of my dresser. You can see all my clothes here. And what I mean in this point is when you're preparing for your au pair stay, you should not bring that many clothes. The majority of the clothes that you see here are things that I have bought through my au pair year. They're things that I've accumulated, and when I move to Madrid in a month, most of these are going to stay here in Seville. I'm going to donate the majority of these clothes. I'm not going to be carrying them with me to Madrid, because carrying a bunch of clothes is not only cumbersome, being that you have to pay for it and you have to keep up with it, but it's really just unnecessary, especially when you can buy the clothes when you get to your host home. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is a lot of the clothes that I would wear in the US, I would not necessarily wear in Spain. They don't fit with the fashion, they don't fit with the style, and vice versa. I wouldn't wear a lot of my Spanish clothes back home. It's gonna help you, for one, integrate into your host country to buy clothes from your host country, but also it's just gonna make things a lot more simple to not have to carry so many clothes. I would say about half the clothes that you're seeing right here I have purchased while I've been here. Pretty much all of my winter clothes I purchased here, and then a good portion of these I purchased here as well. I have down here a sock drawer, which pretty much all of my underwear and socks were purchased here. And then below that I have t-shirts, which I would say were about 50% purchased here, 50% brought from home. I bought almost all of my shorts and pants here. I think just one pair of jeans came from home. And then a lot of the other stuff I have here was purchased here. I did not bring it from home. I did bring a lot of athletic wear, being that brands like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour are really expensive here, but that's pretty much all I got. And even with shoes, I think I brought 4 pairs of shoes, a pair of Toms, some tennis shoes, and 2 pairs of sandals. That's it. I bought the rest here. So the moral of this point is to pack light. Don't pack loads of clothes. You will regret it later, trust me. The number 2 thing that you should be bringing from home is pictures. As you can see right here, we have my picture wall. I absolutely adore this wall, and if you've watched my other videos, you've probably heard me talk about it, because if I'm ever having a bad day, or if I'm feeling homesick, or just down, I like to come to this very spot that I'm standing right now. I look at my pictures, I look at my family, my host kids from Madrid, my friends, and it just really lifts me up. You know, it kind of recharges me, and it reminds me that home is not that far away. This whole picture wall cost me, I think, like $7 US, really cheap, and I'm telling you, it is worth every penny. It is so powerful to be able to look at these pictures and just feel recharged, feel full. Another thing that I did was I had people write me little notes of encouragement before I left, and then I pinned them up here on this wall. Again, I love doing this, as these notes are so sweet, and when I'm feeling down or when I'm missing home, I like to go and just read a couple of them, and it really does pick up my spirits. The number 3 thing you should be bringing for your au pair stay is a journal. A journal is so important to write down all your memories, and I have gotten a bit lazy about it. But when I first became an au pair, I was writing at least 3 or 4 times a week, writing down all my experiences. And of course, the longer you're in your host family and your host country, less things are gonna become notable, which is why I don't write as much. But for me, looking back on those early days of au pairing in my journal, when I was so excited and new and fresh at everything, it just brings life back to me. It makes me so excited, it makes me so happy, and it's priceless. I would not sell this journal for the world. As you can see here in my journal, it starts May 19th of 2019 is when I first wrote in this thing. So almost 2 years ago, and it goes all the way up to now. I mean, I have absolutely filled this journal. Having all those memories at just touch away, you know, just opening the book, that's such a powerful thing, and it really does remind you of how special the au pair experience is and how lucky you are to be in your host country. Oh, it makes me smile just thinking about it. So this is so important. I highly suggest you do this. You will not regret it for a second. So the last thing I'm going to show you here in my room, the last thing that I think is super important that you bring or perhaps buy in your host country is a good bag like I have right here. So for me, I have a forgive me Swedish people, Fjällräven Kanken? I don't know how you say it. I'll ask one of my Swedish friends. But I love this bag, and as an au pair, I honestly feel like a pack mule. Like I have enough stuff in my bag to do like an Arctic exploration. I have food, I have change of clothes for the kids, baby wipes, books, homework, all kinds of stuff goes in that bag, so it is so important that you have a good bag. I never really understood the importance of this until I came to Europe, because I think in the US, I have a car, so I just throw all my stuff in the back seat. But here, being that the majority of au pairs don't have cars, we don't have back seats to throw things in. So you do need a good bag to carry your stuff around with you, whether you're walking, on the bike, on the metro, because it really does make a difference not to have to lug around so much stuff in 20 different bags, or the kids' stuff in one bag, your stuff in another bag. Just to have it all in one place, secure, is such a good feeling. It's so important, and I promise it is a purchase that you will not regret. Alright, so let's head over to my bathroom. I'm going to show you guys one thing that I think is really important, and then we'll jump into part 2 of this video after that. Come on, let's go. Okay, so here I am in my bathroom for this part of the video, and the thing that I wanted to show you guys that I brought with me that you should bring as well is like a personal hygiene bag. This is really simple. For me, I brought just a few things inside of it, but it's gonna be really important not just when you're getting settled with your new host family, but also when you're traveling. If you're like me and you have to do a long haul flight or a lot of travel to get to your host country, you're gonna feel really disgusting by the time you arrive. I mean, I had to do like 16 hours of travel. I've done that 3 or 4 times now. It's pretty normal. So I carry some facial wipes, of course, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, things like that. But I also like to carry some things in it that are hard to get in your host country. So for me, I am a Burt's Bees chapstick addict. So I have a ton of this stuff here, and just things like that. Of course, you can research things that you like and make sure that you can get it in your host country, but if you can't, you should bring it from home, because I'm telling you, it really does make a difference. Okay, so let's go back to my room. We're gonna sit down at the desk, and I'm gonna jump into part 2 of this video, which are the tips for things you should do / not do when preparing for your first stay. Let's go. So now that we've made it back to my room, back to my desk, and I've sat down, I'm gonna tell you guys 4 tips that you should keep in mind when preparing for your au pair stay, whether it be 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. These are gonna be super important for you, and be sure to hang in there to the last tip because it is so important. So the first thing I have on the list is to don't plan too much, but also come with a plan. So I know this sounds a bit contradictory. You're thinking, well, how am I supposed to come with a plan if I'm not supposed to plan too much? But what I mean here is you need to find a good balance between having an idea of what you want to get done and not having too many ideas of what you want to get done. If you go to your host country without a plan, if you just go hoping for the best, you are going to be overwhelmed. I promise you, there's going to be so many things to look at, so many things to do, and you're just going to be entirely overwhelmed and probably lose a lot of opportunities to do cool things. So before you go to your host country, you should do some research on things to do, get a rough idea of what you would like to do, and just have that in the back of your mind as you are living your au pair experience. In my first au pair experience, when I went to Madrid for the summer of 2019, I really had no plan. I thought, well, when I get there, I'll figure it out. But the thing is, when I got there, I was so overwhelmed by Spanish, by the family, by the city, that after 2 months, just when I was really getting used to things, it was time to go. And I realized I really hadn't done that much. I hadn't seen that many things in Madrid. I hadn't gone that many places. And I think it was because I had no plan. I was just winging it. I was just hoping for the best. On the other hand, you don't want to make too many plans because you really want to have the flexibility to roll with the punches. One thing that I found in Seville and Madrid is some of the most Instagram worthy places, or the places that make it on travel bucket lists, are cool to see, but kind of overrated. I mean, they're not things that I would mark as like the coolest things in the city or the coolest things in Spain. So I would talk to locals, meet friends, and really try to find out what the locals are doing and do the same things, as they're gonna know the good stuff. The second big tip I have for you when going into your first au pair experience is to record everything. Like I was saying with the journal a second ago, writing down or having some sort of record of your experiences is gonna be so important, because trust me, if you don't have it written down, if you don't have pictures or videos, you will forget it. I promise you, you will forget things that are happening. You will forget your experience, and you don't want to forget your experience. It's special. It's unique. It's not something that happens every day. So you really do want to have a record of this where you can look back on it later in life and enjoy those memories again. Not only do I have my journal to have down written memories, but I try to take pictures of everything. I take pictures of things I do with the kids, with cool streets. I try to take pictures or videos of anything that I think will be valuable to me in the future, anything that sticks out to me, and I promise you guys, you will look back on this stuff and smile. Some of the most minute things that I used to do in Madrid with my kids, I did take pictures of those, and I look back on them now, and even though they're insignificant and small, they just bring me back. They bring me back to the kids, to that life, to that experience, and it is one of the richest things that I can suggest for you. Please record everything. The third tip I have for you guys is don't be afraid to explore and try new things. One of the biggest mistakes I made when I first became an au pair, and a big mistake that I see a lot of au pairs making, is when they go to their host country, they don't explore, they don't try new things. They try to do things that they did in their home country, and the thing is, it's two different lives. You're gonna live a different life in your host country than you do back home. So you shouldn't be doing the same old, same old. You should use this time to try new things, to try new experiences, to meet new people, and really branch out. Doing this is not only gonna help you get settled in your host country, in your host city, but it's also really gonna make you a bigger, better person, as it broadens your horizons. It challenges you and pushes you to become bigger. Try to meet new people, go on trips, take up opportunities, go and do a new hobby, try something new. All these things are gonna be great for this purpose, and I promise you won't regret it later. I try to do new things pretty frequently, as I do think it's very beneficial, but one of my favorites that I started as an au pair was inline skating. I went to a sports store, I bought some 60 € skates, and I love it. I go all the time now. It's not only great exercise, but it's just so fun. It's such a great way to see the city, and I would have never ever dreamed of doing that back home. So having the opportunity to push myself to do new things brought that new hobby to me, which I'm positive I'm gonna do for a long time. The au pair experience is truly the perfect opportunity to reinvent yourself, to pick who you want to be and what you want to be like, because in your host country, no one knows you. They don't know who you are. They don't know your old life. So you can really start from scratch and make yourself over. It's fantastic. The last suggestion I have for you guys is don't waste your time. When you first become an au pair, it feels like it's never gonna end. Whether it's 2 months or a year like me, I promise you feel like it's gonna go on forever, and then one day you look at the calendar and realize it's almost done. So don't waste a single second. Don't waste a day. Don't waste a moment. Do all the things you can do. Meet all the people you can meet, and fully live the experience. Your au pair experience is going to be what you make of it. If you spend all day in bed staring at the ceiling or watching Netflix, that's what your experience is going to be. But if you get out there, you try new things, you live the experience to the fullest, I promise you will not regret it for a second, and this will be one of the best things of your life. So go out there, do it, live new experiences, try new things, and make fantastic memories. Okay guys, so those are all my tips for your first au pair stay and every au pair stay after that. I try to live by these as well, and they will make your life so much more enjoyable. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment down below. I love you guys so much. I really do. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Muchas gracias y hasta luego. Ciao.